Willkommen zurück bei The Zodiac Trial. Im letzten Part haben wir einmal Ox begleitet in die Bibliothek, weil wir da was Neues finden konnten, und zwar einen PC, den wir mit einem Passwort aufschließen müssen. Und ich glaube, ich weiß, was das Passwort sein wird, denn der Tipp war The Day It All Began, und Maus dachte, es wäre der Tag, an dem das Rennen stattfand. Aber ich glaube, es geht eher darum, der Tag, an dem sein Vater, also Brians Vater, so unrecht verurteilt wurde. Das heißt, wir müssen irgendwie herausfinden, wann das Gericht stattgefunden hat. Aber bisher haben wir nur eine Lösung gefunden, und zwar eine 6, das in Rot geschrieben wurde, als wir mit Pig und Monkey ein Trinket gefunden haben. Seitdem haben wir nichts Neues mehr, außer wir haben nochmal die Route mit den Waffen abgegangen, also mit Tiger und Dragon in die Sporthalle. Und jetzt können wir die Waffen einschließen, denn wir haben ein neues Schloss von Bunny bekommen.
It was a chain connected by lock, and it had 2 keys that went to it. We could probably use that to secure the weapons in a safe place. Nice thinking, Bunny. However, I must ask if a bike chain would be able to properly secure the gym closet. But couldn't that setup present us with some issue, logistically speaking? We definitely could run into some issues there. That's why I think we should also move the weapons to a room that can actually be locked with a chain. Come to think of it, I also stumbled across a sound studio. If I remember the place right, I think it has the right build for a chain lock.
Hold on a minute. I don't like that. You're saying you found this before the rest of us? I'm just saying, there were 2 keys to it, right? How do we know that there were actually 3 keys to it and you didn't swipe one beforehand? If that was the case, you'd be able to enter the room freely.
I appreciate your concerns. I really do. But I have to ask, why would I just grab some random key to a random bike chain? Seems a little ridiculous to me. This all sounds like a major headache. Tiger? Look, there's an even better solution to all of this. We just get someone to guard the weapons.
Oh my god, are you serious?
It's a lot simpler, right? Sure, this person wouldn't be able to help search, but it'd make sure no one could take any weapons, right? I mean, the guard would have all these weapons, so it's not like anyone could face them.
Moron. If we let the ambitious or the half a personality got their weapons, we'd be completely screwed.
What are the odds of that?
1 zu 6, um genau zu sein. Also, gar nicht mal so schlecht.
If we just choose the most trustworthy person here, there's almost no way that would happen. It seems an unnecessary risk if the chain lock plan would work. That plan seems a lot more complicated. Things could easily go wrong with it.
And it's not like the lock plan wouldn't make us trust someone with the ability to get the weapons.
Huh?
I mean, there are 2 keys to the lock, right? What do we do with those?
We can flash them down the toilet or something.
And what if a minor trinket is hidden in the sound studio? What if a trader finds more weapons elsewhere and goes on a rampage and we need to stop them? What if a third example of why we need to open the weapon closet happened? I don't think it'd be wise in any case to completely cut ourselves off from the weapons. So if that's the case, why not just go with a simple guard system? Mouse, what are your thoughts on it?
My thoughts?
Nein, das müssen wir entscheiden. Oh nein. Okay, brauchen wir ein neues. 11. Ich mag Lock the Weapons Up eigentlich. Ist eine gute Idee.
I think it makes the most sense to lock the weapons up,
even if we need to give people keys.
I think Tiger's right in that some people are probably safe to give them to. The bigger issue with the guard plan is that it would permanently take someone out of commission. Worse, it would take someone who was definitely on their group's side out of commission. Our biggest enemy is going to be time. We need to find those minor trinkets as soon as possible. Even this conversation is wasting their precious time. If we lock the weapons away, we'll be able to get them if we need them, but we can put them safely out of our mind.
That makes sense. I also think we should try and go with the chain lock plan. Is anyone against it? Außer Tiger. Außer Tiger.
I still don't like it. But it's starting to seem like I'm the minority in that opinion. So if this is what the group wants, then I'm fine with it.
I guess it'll be okay. I didn't really have a dog in the race, was? I didn't really have a dog in the race either way. Dog in the race.
If that's settled, we should figure out who the keys should go to, right? Do we want to split them up or give them to one person? Giving them to one person would use the risk of letting a traitor have a key. However, it also consolidates power, which as a general rule is more dangerous. I think it may be safer to split the keys between two candidates. If that's the case, then I've got a nomination. I think Sheep should be in charge of one of the keys. Me? Think about it. If this girl was given the ambitions or hateful personality type, do you really think she'd hide it? Not a chance. She'd have outed it. Also, and no offense, Sheep, but she's not exactly intimidating. Even if she did decide to break bad and grab a bunch of weapons, I'm pretty sure we could take her down. Oh, well, I'm honored that you thought of me for the position. I promise I'll keep a close eye on the key if you give it to me.
I think Sheep is a good choice. Any objections on letting her have one? However, silence went over the group.
If that's settled, I actually have a second nomination.
Bitte ich, bitte ich, bitte ich.
I believe Tiger would be a good choice to have this other key. Me? Yes, I think I've given this conversation. You are the least likely to be a traitor. For one, you nominated some other than yourself to have a key. The traitors naturally would want to get the keys themselves, so nominating someone else is completely unthinkable behavior to them. If you really wanted a key, you could have made an argument such as, fine, we can do that kind of plan instead of mine, but only if I get one of the keys. That might have met with some resistance, but I bet you'd be able to convince people with that. Additionally, you have been nothing but positive this whole time. I do truly believe that if you had been given an adverse personality, you would have admitted it to us. Ah, thanks, Snake. You seem great too.
Well, I for one disapprove. Giving someone as strong as Tiger access to the weapons is a death sentence for the rest of us if she turns out to be a traitor.
No. If Tiger tries to attack anyone, I'll be able to bring her down.
What's that? You think you can beat me in a fight?
I don't think that. I know that.
Would you two cut it out? Anyway, yeah. Tiger's probably fine to have a key. Let's go with Sheep and Tiger being the key holders. And let's quit wasting time discussing this anymore. We've already spent far too long on it. Now lead us to where the weapons are. And just like that, we were decided. Tiger, Dragon and I led the group to the gym. Oh, das heißt, wir kriegen wahrscheinlich 4 neue Sachen. Das heißt, entweder durch die... Oh mein Gott, wir können sogar 8 neue Sachen kriegen. Durch das Einschließ- und das Guard-System könnten vielleicht jeweils 4 Endings rauskommen. Oh, das wäre super. Dann hätten wir schon 8 mehr Karten. Oh, das wäre so toll.
We made sure to take careful stocks of everything in the closet before anyone was allowed to touch anything. And then the group carried the items down to the recording studio Bunny talked about.
Oh, schön hier.
We piled up all the weapons in the back room. An inventory was taken to make sure everything was there and no one had pocketed anything.
Doc noticed that the window to the audio room could actually also be opened. Luckily for us, there was actually a handle on the inside of the window that could easily be flipped to lock it. The door opened inwards into the audio room, which meant we needed to hold it back with the bike chain. We ran it around the column and double looped it around the door handle. Finally, when everyone was outside the room, Tiger leaned through the little gap in the door, left and locked the bike chain. When all was said and done, the windows from the audio room was locked on the inside. The only way to enter would be to unlock the chain through the gap, pulling the audio room's door back, fully created. Alright, I think that just about does it, guys. The room's officially locked. At least it's over with. Now, how should we go about searching the building? Are we really going to go through this shit again? We don't have the time to trust to probably plan out this group thing. Let's just hurry up and start searching.
I must agree. If we get lost in any more pointless discussion, we face a serious risk of not being able to fight the minor trinkets in time.
Shall we just split up and start looking then?
That's... you know what? Fine, whatever. Everyone just be careful and let's try and gather all the trinkets before things can go wrong.
And break.
Just like that, the group split up. Ox was right. The sooner we found these trinkets, the sooner everything could be better. I decided to keep searching on the first floor. It was a little unsettling searching by myself for the first time.
I had previously felt some safety in the presence of others. That being said, I couldn't even say for certain that searching with others would even make me feel better. The introduction of those horribly unfair rules had completely destroyed any atmosphere of camaraderie we had previously had. Were things really going to be alright? I couldn't help but think that the existence of this traitor was going to make things go horribly wrong. But thinking about all of this was pointless. I needed to focus on my search for trinkets. Unfortunately, that wasn't exactly going great either. Room after room, I diligently searched, but there was nothing to be found. There would be times where I was almost certain I had looked everywhere in the room, but I couldn't bring myself to leave. My experience in the gym showed that while Brian wasn't looking to be completely obscure in his hiding spots, they also wouldn't always be obvious. If I internally marked a room off as clear, and there was in fact a minor trinket in there, the results could be catastrophic. No, a slow methodical search was for the best. Eventually, I reached a weird-looking boiler room. After a bit of looking, I stumbled across what looked to be a backup generator. What was this doing here? While it alone was strange, I only became worried when I realized that its charging cord had been cut off. Why? Who would want to plug that lead to nothing but an exposed wire? And who cut this off? Brian? Or someone here? I kept looking in the room, but I wasn't able to find anything else noteworthy. I checked my tablet, and it was getting close to the end of the round. It was probably a good time to input a move or gather back at the cafeteria. Looking at my tablet, my eyes were drawn to the act button. If there was someone I suspected, I could use my ability on them. After all, if they stuck to the plan, then there would be no difference. It was only logical, then, to use it, right? No, I couldn't. Using the ability in and of itself to club my distrust. The last thing I wanted now was to disrupt the tenuous peace we had achieved. I clicked on run and made my way back to the cafeteria. It appeared I was one of the first ones there. The only other person there was Tiger. Hey Mouse, how'd the search go?
I hate to admit, but I wasn't able to find anything.
Yeah, me neither. It's a real shame. But hey, maybe the others will have fared better. Let's hope. Right as I said this, Dragon ran in. Oh no, she looked panicked.
Tiger, quickly give me your key to the weapon closet.
What? I can do that. I wasn't trusted this.
Fine, now come with me.
Wait, what's going on?
Just hurry. Oh nein, was passiert hier gerade?
Dragon started rushing out of the room and Tiger left with her. I had a bad feeling about this. I decided to follow behind them. They made their way to the recording studio. There, Snake was waiting in the interminated room.
Did you get it?
About her.
Yeah, why am I here?
Look at that.
Dragon pointed at the figure lying against the wall through the window. The figure, a sheep, lying limp. She didn't look injured, and yet, what is she doing there? What is she doing there?
Hell if I know. Tiger, up the chain.
On it. Tiger opened the door and pulled on the chain lock until the lock was close enough. She then unlocked it and pulled open the door. Dragon pushed past her and ran over to Sheep's side. Tiger, Snake, and I ran in after her. No, this couldn't be happening. No, the sheep. Things would be fine, right? There was no need for everything to go completely sideways, right? Then why did it feel like I had swallowed a ball bearing made of dry ice? Then Dragon spoke the words I had been dreading.
She's wrong, but I can't feel a pulse.
No! Round 4 ended soon after we discovered her. Apparently, everyone just ran. Everyone except Sheep. Others made their way over here, and the news of her death spread amongst the participants. Most had gathered right outside the room and were anxiously discussing things.
Wer hat den Schlüssel jetzt, die Frage? Weil Sheep hat den Schlüssel. Wer hat ihn jetzt? Weil jemand muss sie reingeschleppt haben in den Raum. Das heißt, jemand hat den Schlüssel von ihr abgenommen, aufgeschlossen, sie reingeschleppt und abgeschlossen wieder.
The only ones actually in the room with the crime were me, Snake, Dragon, Tiger, Bunny, and Dog. The whole time I just stood there feeling empty. I had done so much to try and make sure no one would die, And yet, for sheep, such a fragile and innocent soul, to end up like this. Whoever did this would pay. I would make sure of it, no matter what it would take. I sat there, and yet I couldn't stop myself from standing there empty, while others discussed the situation.
Fuck. Who the fuck did that? Who would do this? And the sheep of all people? Fucking bastard, show your face.
How could this happen?
How indeed, Tiger? You had your key the whole time, correct?
Of course.
Then what about the other key?
Dragon bent over and fished through sheep's pockets. Before long, she pulled out the key.
Was?
This is that, right?
It appears to be.
Over here. The window's locked.
We checked that back when we found the scene.
Then, does that mean?
Indeed. This appears to be a locked room murder.
What the fuck? Damn it. Who could do something like that?
Is it even murder, though? How did she die?
You didn't say. Right here on the neck, there's an injection mark.
She gestured to the body, and sure enough, there was a hole in Sheep's neck.
That makes sense.
What?
Why? I've been checking the weapon inventory and the poison's gone missing. I looked at the label on that earlier. The poison's supposedly incredibly lethal and instantly active. If she was stung with a syringe of that, she'd be on the floor in seconds.
Where the hell would someone even get a syringe, though?
There are several science labs on the 3rd floor, right? It's likely they're silent, got it from there.
Hey, what's that in the windowsill?
Bunny pointed to the windowsill,
Not to the intimidated room, but to the outside. Sitting on it was a folded piece of paper making an origami cat.
Eine Katze! Das haben wir doch gehört von Sheep selber in der Geschichte. In der Geschichte vom Zodiac Race. Da wurde die Katze von der Maus reingelegt, deswegen hassen Katzen Mäuse. Die Katze ist das 13. Mitglied im Zodiac Circle, die es nicht geschafft hat.
I believe it was there when we first came across the scene.
Ja, Snag. Es ist Zodiac.
Why would you think that?
It's origami, right? You're artsy and shit. Seems like das beerbt ja alle.
True, I have an appreciation for the arts. However, I must confess that origami was always one medium that evaded me.
But why would this be here? What, is this supposed to be a calling card or something?
A calling card? What a frightening idea.
A cat. That was familiar somehow. Sheep's explanation of the Zodiac race rang in the back of my ears. That was unrelated, right? Why is no one explaining the fact that everything was locked? That's super weird, right?
Indeed.
You don't think Sheep killed herself, do you?
The hell? You really think that sure?
A logical thought to have. However, there is an issue with that theory. Where did the syringe go? It is not in this room.
Right. Sheep wasn't the type to kill herself anyways. It was definitely some evil psychopath. Well, what about this? What if the killer attacked her from outside? Huh? Think about it. There's a bit of a gap in the door thanks to the chain, right? The killer could have stuck their arm and got it from here.
Nah, no way.
What? Why not?
The poison was fast acting, yeah. Then how did her body get all the way over to this wall? Plus, it looks like it was deliberately placed there. She looked like she was just sitting down, like she could be sleeping. If she was really stabbed through the crack, she immediately started withering around, then passed out in the pained-looking position right by the door.
That's it. I couldn't just stand around blankly. I needed to help. I needed to find whatever monster would do this. Okay, Slob. Before we talk about this anymore, I'm going to need to be brought up to speed. Could someone give me an exact rundown of how things went leading up to finding this body? Right. That would probably be helpful.
Fine, whatever. Snake and I ran into each other around here.
Yes, we were both searching this area and happened to run into each other. We decided to keep looking as a pair, just for efficiency's sake. Very shortly after that, we walked by here, and Dragon noticed something through the window.
Wasn't sure, but I thought I saw someone in the studio. I decided it was best to check, so we entered the intimidated room.
It was then when we saw sheep in this sorry state.
It was fucking alright, as what it was.
To be clear, we weren't sure she was dead or even hurt then. We just saw that she was sitting down in the studio by herself. I do believe the origami cat that Bunny found was on the windowsill at the time.
Immediately, I called out to her. No response. I tried to pull open the door, but as expected, the chain was locked, and preventing me from opening the door fully. Then I tried to see if I could get through the window, but it was also locked.
It was then that I suggested to the dragon try and find Tiger, so we could enter the room and see what was happening.
Then I went over to get Tiger, and I guess you saw the rest.
I would say, it does seem a rather possible crime. If we assume that there were only 2 keys into this lock. However, if there were 3, then there'd be no mystery whatsoever.
Oh, hold on a second. Are you accusing me? I told you, there were only 2 keys.
Hold your horses. I was not in fact accusing you. Rather, I was pondering if it was possible that the Jade Emperor expected that we may use that bike chain for something. If he did, he may have taken a spare key from the chain for himself.
Then what, are you saying Brian's the killer? I thought he said he was staying out of this mess, that he was just a host or some shit.
He did indeed say that, I must admit. I wonder then, perhaps this was a pointless theory.
There's no such thing as pointless theory, Snake. We all gotta do our part to try and bring the villain who did this to sheep to justice.
I'd advise against that. What? Don't get me wrong, I'd love to figure out the killer just as much as anyone else. But the more time we spend on that, the less time we're spending looking for the minor trinkets.
So what? You're just saying we should just ignore this and keep searching?
It may sound crass, but pretty much. The longer we stay here, the worse things will get. The best way to ensure our safety would be to finish the race.
It's sad, so very sad, but Doc's right. We need to move on.
What a fucking bullshit. You expect us to just move on like that?
I don't expect it, but I hope you can.
So what should we do with this extra K?
Let's give it to Tiger. After all, the killer overpowering someone who had the key was the reason we got into this mess in the first place. It's unlikely that will happen to Tiger. Damn right it won't. Was that right? Something seemed off in Bunny's statement there.
I don't like that. But fine, here you go.
Dragon gave her key to Tiger. We should leave sheep in here to rest peacefully. We'll venture by getting out alive.
Irgendwas stimmt hier wirklich nicht. Ja, ich glaube, Bunny hat irgendwas, ist mit immer ein Kahut, glaube ich, weil irgendwas in der ganzen Sache stimmt nicht. Aber was? Das weiß ich nicht. Meine Theorie ist vielleicht, ich meine, man sagt ja, wer kann es getan haben? Sheep war drinnen, nicht wahr? Wer sagt nicht, dass Tiger nicht jemanden den Schlüssel gegeben hat oder selbst genutzt hat? Wir haben sie bisher nur einmal gesehen und da war sie in der Cafeteria, aber das heißt nicht, dass sie vorher nicht woanders war. Dann haben sie Sheep K.O. gemacht. Sie sind Sheep losgeworden und haben dann so getan, als wären sie ganz neu und hätten nichts gesehen. Es ist nicht unmöglich. Es ist seltsam vielleicht, ja, aber es ist möglich. Und das ist wichtig gerade. Alles Wichtige, alles Mögliche muss beachtet werden. Das kann kompliziert werden. Aber wir werden sehen. Vielleicht lüge ich auch total falsch und eigentlich war es ein großes Versehen und nein. Ich liege wahrscheinlich falsch, aber irgendeiner von so Leuten ist ein kaltblütiger Killer. Toll. Jetzt finden wir aus wer. Im nächsten Part aber erst. Danke fürs Zugucken und ich bin froh, dass wir vorankommen und was Neues finden. Das ist spannend. Das heißt, anscheinend ist auch wichtig, mit wem wir reden in der Downtime. Das wird auch spannend. Okay. Dann bis nächstes Mal. Tschüss.